you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Now, if this is your first time here, hey, welcome. My name is Dianne, and I'm super excited that you found your way here. Okay, you guys, this is going to be my episode 8 recap for the challenge season 33, War of the Worlds. Now, this was a great episode, and from what I'm hearing about the ratings, this was a super great episode. Okay. The challenge was amazing, the elimination was amazing, and there was a lot of amazing drama in between, and we are going to discuss all of that. Once again, as I've said in my previous videos, I'm only going to be discussing things that directly pertain to myself and my partner. So if someone is discussed in this video, they are only being talked about because they were connected to a situation that directly affected myself and my partner. Got it? We good? All right, let's get into it. All right, so coming back into the house after this elimination definitely sucks so much because my number one team is now gone. You feel what I'm saying? And I watched that elimination. You know, Amanda and Josh damn near won, literally a couple more polls, and it was a wrap. You feel what I'm saying? So to watch that win literally slip out of their hands, sucked, you know? So we get back to the house. Amanda left me this really cute little note. So I laid in her bed and I read it. And, you know, everyone knows my relationship with Josh. That is my brother, one of my main apple scrapples, and he has been since his season of Big Brother. We've always kept in contact, always hung out. Like, that's always been like my dude. And so coming into this game, we were like ride or die to the end. This is what we're gonna do. So he was always my number one guy. And so when he became Amanda's partner, it was just like, oh my gosh, this just threw a wrench in my entire plan that I had, because coming into the season, I mean, even though, you know, after we were eliminated last season, me, Amanda, and Jose became really cool. Those last couple of days that we spent in South Africa, we were together every single day, every single night. Like, we were together. We went out to the clubs, we went to the bars, we went to the malls, we went to eat. Everything was us three, okay? And so the bond was established at that point, but my intention to make her challenge life a living hell this season was in full effect, okay? I needed her to feel the way she made me and Jose feel last season. But once that became Josh's partner, it was like, well, that's out, you know? So we spent a lot of time bonding with each other, getting to know each other outside of this game. And, you know, walking away from this season, I can honestly say that is one person who I feel I would never, ever have to question how solid she is with me, because I know that one right there, solid, okay, as a rock. So them leaving definitely sucked. Definitely sucked. And the temperature of the house is all over the place right now. You know what I'm saying? I just found out a lot in these last couple of weeks. The week before, like I said in my previous recap, one of my girl allies was trying to convince Georgia to flip her vote to get me sent into elimination. And then I found out that Paulie, who was supposed to be one of my guy allies, found out that he, you know, was working with Wes to try to get the Brits out, starting with me and Bear, you know, so he was trying to get us out. So it was just, you know, it was a lot of information to take in, and I was starting to see where I fit in with a lot of these people inside of the house. You know what I'm saying? But again, with all of this information, one thing I learned about Big Brother, because if you watch me in Big Brother, you know when I got information like that, I will run that shit straight to the source. Oh, so you trying to get me out? Oh, so it's a problem. But I kept those cards very close to my chest, and I never mentioned it literally until these not to these recaps. I was talking to Paulie after filming was over, after all the dust had settled. I had called him when all that stuff happened back in December. I called him when all that shit went off, and just to kind of check on him and see, you know, if he was all right or whatever. And then somehow we started talking about the game, and that was when I revealed to him that I knew he was trying to get me and Bear out of the game. But prior to that, I never said anything about it. So can you imagine how annoying it is to be hugging these people and looking them in their face while they fake cheering for you and fake applauding and congratulating you, and you know that they want to get you out the house? Like, man, this season was a trip, but it is what it is. So let's go on into this challenge. Oh wait, did the phone call happen before the challenge, or did the challenge happen then the phone call? I think the phone call and then the challenge. Yeah, I think it was the phone call. So let's talk about this phone call. All right, so once a week we get to call home and talk to our friends and family. We get to FaceTime them, FaceTime or Skype, so we can see them and talk to our friends and family or whatever like that. And so today was phone call day. That's why you saw people sitting in the living room because everybody was just kind of waiting on their turn to be able to talk on the phone. So boom, it's Bear's turn, and he calls. I think it was his mom, I think, or his brother, or somebody. He called somebody first, somebody in his family. He called them first. And then he was talking to them, and I think he had maybe like 5 minutes left because we get 15 minutes. So I think he had about 5 minutes left on his time. And so we see him leave out of the phone room, and he runs to his room. And everybody's like, where is he going? So he come back out with a piece of paper, and he looks at us, and he kind of like smirks. And I'm like, oh, shit, because now we can back it up. Remember when I told you guys in whichever episode that was when Bear and Johnny and Georgia and Zahida were all outside talking, and they were talking about that necklace? Okay, now the reason why Bear had the necklace and Georgia didn't have it anymore is because early on Theo slipped up and said something about Bear having a girlfriend, and Bear was like, my ex-girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, ex-girlfriend. And then Theo says, I mean, Georgia's cute, but oh my gosh, you should see Bear's ex-girlfriend, man. And so they all start laughing, but of course this makes Georgia feel some type of way. So then they start arguing, and then the fact that Bear didn't, say anything in Georgia's defense, they started arguing, and that's when she gave the necklace back to him. She took the necklace off and gave it back to him. So I say all of that to say, fast forward, when he comes out with a piece of paper, we know exactly who he's about to call. And I'm just like, oh shit, this is about to be really bad. So as Bear is walking into the phone room to call the young lady, Wes yells at him and goes, hey Bear, who are you about to call now? And so Bear goes, I'm about to call my cousin. I'm calling my girl cousin, right? And so when he gets in there, he sits down, he calls the young lady, and they're starting to have their conversation. Now, Wes walks into the phone room, peeks his head in, and looks at the screen because, again, it's FaceTime, so you can see who the other person is talking to. So after he sees the young lady, he pops out of the phone room, and he goes, wow, Bear's cousin is really attractive. But he's saying this really loud because it's the phone room right here, and then there's a bathroom right here, and then the next room, like the immediate next room, is our room, and that's where Georgia is, right? So he's trying to talk loud enough to get Georgia to come out, right? So he goes, Bear's Bear's female cousin is really attractive. She's really attractive. Again, going back to that argument where Theo was saying how attractive the young lady was, all of these things play a factor into what's going on right now, like what Wes is trying to do right now. All of those things play an important role in that. So, Georgia is in the back brushing her teeth, and she's not coming to the front, right? So Wes comes back over to where we are, and he's like, it'd be real funny if Georgia came out here and caught them on the phone. So I was like, why would that be funny? And he was like, because then Bear would be caught. I said, yeah, but then she'd be embarrassed. And then he shrugged his shoulders, looked over at Cara, smirked at her, she smirked at all of us, started laughing, said this is going to be good, and started walking towards my room. I said, Cara, please don't go get that girl. I'm trying to whisper to Cara because I don't want to say it loud enough to where Georgia can hear me. I'm like, please don't go get that girl. And so when she comes back out, she has Georgia. And so I'm just like, oh my gosh. And now, Georgia is standing there, and because it's FaceTime, the young lady can also see Georgia. So they're starting to have dialogue with each other. And then that's when Bear cuts the conversation. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And then now they're arguing with each other. And it was ugly. Like the whole thing was so ugly. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even defending what Bear was doing because, ex-girlfriend, current girlfriend, whatever the case may be, all of us in here, you have told us your feelings for Georgia. So to call this young lady is completely disrespectful, completely out of pocket. However, comma, the plan to have Georgia come up here and have this whole moment with Bear and his girlfriend, whoever the young lady is, was trash as well. That whole plan was trash, and that wasn't coming from a good place in somebody's heart and somebody just looking out for a girl. And it wasn't that. I just told you guys what the dialogue was. That dialogue did not say anything about having this young lady's back. The root of this entire plan was to shit on Bear, period, even at the expense of embarrassing Georgia. Matter of fact, I'm willing to bet that if that altercation never would have happened, then the conversation between Bear and the young lady never would have made the episode. It had no reason to. You feel what I'm saying? But because that big argument happened, then it just added more meat to the storyline of Bear and Georgia. And now, you know, in present tense, reading what the young lady had to say about the episode, she was embarrassed. She was like, how embarrassing. My voice, you know, her voiceover. You feel me? Because they blurred out her face, but her voice was definitely there and present. And she was embarrassed by that. You know what I mean? And I get it. She didn't sign up to be on the challenge. Bear did. And don't get it twisted. A large portion of her embarrassment is from Bear. Bear caused a large portion of that. You feel what I'm saying? But that whole punk ass plan that was orchestrated to have Georgia come up there so that can go down the way that it went down, that was trash. Literally everybody involved. Trash across the board. Now Georgia is crying, you know, emotionally she is a complete wreck. And so naturally my instincts are to go and to comfort her. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to comfort her, give her some words of encouragement, you know, uplift her, whatever I can, you know, as best as I can. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and tell you that while I was comforting her, I wasn't thinking about my game. Hell yeah, I was thinking about my game. You know, I was trying to comfort her, but at the same time, I know my game is really in jeopardy now. Wes done orchestrated this plan. It worked in his favor. And so now I know for sure if we don't win this challenge, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad because a lot of people are now gunning for Bear, who is attached to me because we are Team Dad, Bear Von, you know, Von Bear, whatever the case may be. That's us. So, you know, shit, you know, I'm not going to sit here and lie to y'all and be like, yeah, my entire, you know, focus was on Georgia at that. No, it wasn't. I was focused on her, but I was also like, shit, my game. Absolutely. I ain't finna sit here and lie to y'all. So needless to say, that ended up being a very long ass night. But let's go ahead and get into this challenge. All right, so we get to the challenge, and keep in mind, it is really cold outside this day, okay? And so, the first thing I see is all of this damn water, and then I see the puzzle pieces in the middle of this water, which lets me know I'm going to have to do all this damn swimming to get to these puzzle pieces. And when I say stressed, I was stressed. But after everything that went down with Bear and this phone call and all this bull crap, I'm just like, oh my gosh, we really gonna have to win this challenge today. Like, it was annoying. I was definitely annoyed. Okay, so the way this challenge works, all of the teams start at the starting line, and then one person from each team runs out, swims into the ocean, grabs a puzzle piece, swims it back, runs back to the starting line, and then that partner goes, swims out, get a puzzle piece, come back, and then you guys keep rotating. So there's 8 pieces out there. So I had to swim out 4 times and Bear had to swim out 4 times. Once you've got all 8 pieces, you come back to the starting line and start building the puzzle. The first 3 teams that complete the puzzle, they make up the tribunal. So TJ blows the horn and the guys take off into the ocean first. Now I'm watching these guys struggle in this water, and it's putting knots in my stomach because I'm like, well, damn, if y'all struggling, what the hell am I gonna do when I gotta get out there? Like, man. Bear comes back with his first piece, and I'm just like, damn, it's my turn. So I take off running, and then as soon as my toe touched the water, I was like, oh my God. It was so cold, like so cold. So I'm thinking, okay, look, I don't want to do all this swimming. I really don't. I'm 5'9", so I'm like, well, let me see how far I can just walk into this water until I can't walk anymore. Because now that I'm, you know, right here in the water, it doesn't look that far from the shore to where the puzzle pieces are. So I'm like, maybe I can just, you know, walk this thing until I'm forced to have to swim, okay? So I'm walking. Bear is screaming, Javon, swim, swim. And I'm trying to ignore him, but he loud as hell. And I'm just, I'm watching all the girls swimming and I'm like, oh, that's cute. I'm not doing that. It was some girls who were walking like I was too, but I'm tall and they're not as tall as I am. So they would have to swim a lot sooner. So once I got to my tippy toes, I was like, damn. So I remember I was tippy-toe. And then when I got to that next, what I thought I was going to feel something, it was literally nothing there. And I was like, oh my God. So I started swimming towards the pieces. And then, I made my way over to the pieces and I unhooked it. Now, these pieces are heavy and the corners are sharp, okay? The corners of those puzzle pieces are sharp. Like I had cuts on my neck, I had cuts on my arms, cuts on my fingers, cuts on my legs, like cuts everywhere once this challenge was over, right? So I grabbed the puzzle piece and I tried to swim back with it, like tried to use it as a floaty, and I'm like, damn, this ain't gonna work. So what strategy I started using was I would push the puzzle piece as far ahead of me as I could and then swim to it. Push it and then swim to it until I got to the shore. Then once I got to the shore, I would just pick it up and then run to where Bear is. So I got my piece over there. Bear took off running to his. He came back and I'm like, damn, it's my turn again. So this time when I went into the water, I had my strategy figured out. I knew what I was going to do. But this big ass wave came. And when this wave came, I said, yep, here in Namibia is where I am going to end. Like, this is it. Like, I'm going to get swallowed up by this wave and it's over. So I turned my back to the wave and I started swimming back to the shore. And Bear was pissed. He was like, what are you doing? I said, I ain't finna die. You crazy? So I swam back towards the shore. And then once the wave cleared, I went right back into the water. But the longer the challenge went on, the harder the waves were hitting. And so, at one point I found myself fighting the wave. Like I couldn't run forever because we still were in a challenge that had to be completed. So I started finding ways to fight the wave to where I can still push forward and get to the puzzle pieces. So finally, boom, all 8 pieces are now where they belong and it's time to start doing the puzzle. As soon as we get all the pieces there, Bear goes, all right, it's on you. I said, what you mean it's on me? He was like, well, you the puzzle champ. I said, that was one challenge. Like, that was one challenge. What you mean? And so I'm starting to stand there and trying to figure this out. He's helping me, of course. We're trying to do teamwork to the best of our ability. Like, we're going in, even so much to where he's told me, Dianne, get on my shoulders. I'm on his shoulders. Like, we're stacking this. And every time we get to the last puzzle piece, it's like, oh my gosh, this is wrong. So we have to start all over again. And we did this about, oh my gosh, like 20 times we took this puzzle down and put it back together, took it down and put it back together. So in the midst of this happening, somebody's puzzle broke. Like one of their puzzle pieces broke. So TJ blows the horn and they stop the game. So all of us have to back up. So we back up, we can still see our puzzles, but we can't touch anything until that puzzle piece is fixed, right? So while we're standing there, all of us at this time, D and Wes had already won. Nani and Turbo had already won. So now it's down to that third team. So while they're fixing that puzzle piece, we're all standing there eyeing our puzzles, trying to see if we can maybe this piece can go here, this piece can go here. We're just, having conversations with our teammate and trying to figure it out, right? So their puzzle piece gets fixed. And TJ blows the horn for us to run back. As soon as we ran back, Theo solved the puzzle. Boom, boom, their team won, right? Because even when we were standing there, Theo was like, I got it. So once they got back, they did it. They won. Boom, that made up the tribunal, right? So I just tell Bear, I'm like, look, get ready. You done caused all of this shit. Be ready to go into battle. And you know what? At this point, I wanted to go into elimination. I'm not even gonna lie. I wanted to go into elimination because the way Bear was playing this game, I felt more secure going into the killing floor, winning, getting the relic, and being safe for a week. You feel what I'm saying? Like I needed that security. So I was just like, just be ready. Okay, so now that the challenge is over and we have our tribunal, it's time to go to nominations. I think we can really skip that because there wasn't really anything spectacular that happened in regards to me and Bear other than us being nominated. But as far as the tribunal ceremony, that's where all the tea is. You got to see a lot of things, but you also did not get to see a lot of things. So let's go ahead and talk about that.